Hello guys, so this is like a series I've been wanting to bring back. I used to do it when my channel was like really small, and it's still really small, but like it was even smaller than that. And it's just kind of like going through the weekly updates and like giving my thoughts and what's coming. So for this week, we're getting the first part of the JJK0 reprint. And so for the first part of the bi-weekly, we are going to get the SSR character guaranteed gacha select. So this is going to be 3k paid cubes. You get one of the 3 SSRs you selected, and it's going to be standard up to Chozo. So if the character released before Chozo, that's standard, it's going to be on the banner, and then it's going to be the 3 JJK0 characters. Now, what I recommend that you guys would do, I just brought a tier list just to be, just for fun. For the picks that you could do on this banner, just to give you guys a good understanding, Yuta is probably going to be like one of the second best you can pick. Ghetto with his SP bus, which we're going to go over, is going to be the best. Definitely, I would say pick him. Miguel is probably going to be next to Yuta in like kind of the same kind of tier. They're both pretty good. If you don't have him, absolutely in the same tier as Ghetto is going to be Chozo. And I don't think he's on this list. Oh no, he is. He's right here. Definitely pick Chozo if you don't have him. Absolutely pick him. Definitely pick Yellow Maki as well, or not Yellow Maki, Yellow Shoko. If you don't have her as well, she's also really good. And other than that, like the rest of the really good characters you're gonna get from this is standard. Like I can see that this is in release order, and everything that's this way that isn't limited that's gonna be on here just isn't really worth it. So like I would say any character underneath these ones that you're gonna pick is either gonna be a character that you want for like character rank purposes or something like that, but really I don't see you getting anyone other than these 5. Like these 5 are what you should be picking, and if you're picking anything outside of these 5, I think you're a little bit crazy. Because other really solid picks would be like, if you don't have Blue Namaki, you can pick Blue Namaki, right? But he's coming to standard with the anniversary, so you don't want to pick him. And every other character that you might want to pick isn't coming, like it's gonna be coming to standard, so there's no point. Just pick one of these 5, I would say, and you're set. So now the second thing we're gonna be getting is the Rekbit gacha, and I know the Jujutsu Like-Minded Sisters Rekbit, you can see it in here. It's gonna be really good for Chozo, or not Chozo, for also for Chozo, but also for the Blue Yuta. And I just really like, if you're a really good low spender, if you make a ton of money, if you love spending money and you love giving Billy money, go ahead, buy this Rekbit banner. But I honestly think it's not going to be worth it. It's going to be 3k paid cubes as well, and 3k paid cubes for one copy of a memory is like paying to get into debt. You're going to have to spend all of your Rekbit dupes duping this out. You're going to be stuck for like 5 weeks of events on this one Rekbit. And honestly, I can't recommend it for any of the ones in here. But if you want to, you have the extra money, go ahead. And they're going to be bringing back this gacha, which is going to have these characters at increased probability, plus all the other 3 Rekbits. And the 3 Rekbits they have listed here is going to be the old Yuta Rekbit, the 2 strongest Rekbit, and the good work one? Is that even up here? Oh, is that the Miguel bit? Yo, the Miguel bit is actually pretty good. So, but this, I don't know, it's not listed here, but it should have free singles outside of the free singles that you already get if you have the Celestial Access. So, if you're like a low spender and you have the Celestial Access, you should be getting 3 singles a day. Now, if they don't do this, people are going to be upset, but they didn't include it in here. And they always like their street cred, so I don't really know what they're doing. If it's on there, it's on there. If it's not on there, it's not on there. So then the second part of the event we're going to be getting, they made them so small. It's going to be the story event. In the story event, if you have a really good built box, I almost want to recommend not doing this and instead doing the map event. But while this is going to be out, it should be out for at least a week or maybe 2 weeks, so it doesn't overlap with the map event. And while it is out, you should be dumping all your AP into this. Don't do 2x weekend like you usually do, just put it into this. Maybe if you're like really new, stick with 2x weekend, but this is gonna be your AP sync almost every single day until the map event comes out. And this is gonna be the bonus. So for each SSR character, it's gonna be 20%, 4% for each awakening, which is a total of 40% if you have A5 characters. And if you've been playing for a bit, you should have these 5 characters A5, unless you're greedy and you sold your dupes, and you deserve to pay for your crimes if that's the case. And then for the banners, this is going to be the Miguel rec bit, this is going to be the Two Brothers one, and this is the Winter one. All 3 of these are going to be on the banner that could have the 3-a-day singles. And then these 2 are free. This is a login bonus, and this is the one from the story event itself. So basically you should have at minimum a 30% bonus for free, plus from the rec bits per rec bits. That's 60% for the 2 rec bits minimum because they're free. And then if you have A5 of the standard characters, that's another 120, right? Yeah. So you should have 180% for free, which is insane. And then you're gonna get this character for free, so that's another. But if you're using it with Maki, so like all these characters are completely free versions of this. So the very minimum, you're having 25%, 75%, 135% for free, completely for free. And but the max you can get is 350%, but you're kind of locked out at 350% because who has any of these 3 characters A5 unless you're a whale like MP. So then the ticket giveaway, this is just you log in, you get a free single, not the free single, you get a free multi and tickets for the banner. That could, so you kind of want the rec bits for this thing, so you can get this. Maybe dupes, so you can get the awakenings, but honestly I really recommend doing the map event instead. And then the login bonus, which is just going to be cubes or whatever. This could be what they're talking about with the free daily things, but the login bonuses are really kind of like whatever. Like it's just free stuff no matter what. So now to get into the SP buffs. So the Yuta SP buff, which is very good, don't get me wrong, right? He's giving himself the critical enhancement passive. He's going to get a max of 45% stat buffs because it's 4 turns and it's a self buff. So you're buffing after you get the hit. So if you don't know, all self buffs are actually 1 turn less basically than what they actually say. So this would be a max of 45%. He doesn't give himself 60. And then the strength and the auto skill to give himself 60% Jujutsu stats if he hits a Black Flash, which could be really good. I mean, if depending on how much he Black Flashes a good amount. But if you do, you're getting that you're getting that 60% Jujutsu stat. Now Jujutsu stat cannot be stacked. So because zone outburst is a state, so states just refresh, they don't stack. And then you're getting CE back by 5. This should all be part of the critical thing. I don't like that they put it all in the zone outburst, right? The zone outburst is, yeah, just a Black Flash. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. And then the auto skill, the usage to 4, which means he gets 4 heals instead of 3, which is good. It's good, but the worst part of Yuta was the ridiculous ult cooldown. Like 4 turns where you can't gain ultimate gauge is absolutely garbage. And what is the point of giving him more ult gauge increase, right? But this is on a Black Flash, so it's rare. If you're not going to give him ult spam ability, it's just very silly. And if you run this with Jujutsu LMS, he could have potential to lock in, but they just, I don't know, they hate Yuta, I guess. They want you to summon for blue Yuta, more likely. So then, here we go about the SP buff for the S3 is the other one. He's going to get another Taijutsu and Jujutsu stat for 15% for 4 turns. So it's going to be 45, 45, 90. And then, after performing the ultimate skill, you get reduced energy cost by 10. So it's going to be 20 CE per ability, which is good. And then, you're going to do the counterattack buff. The counterattack is literally whatever. All it does is ruin your pride stacking. Because if you don't know, if he does do the counterattack, it does take a stack of pride. So that's really all it does, is ruin your pride stacking. The counterattack literally never comes in handy. But I mean, I can see what they're going here for, right? Like you use his ult, and then it used to be so trash because you use his ult, and then he can't gain ult gauge, and he can't attack because it takes 40 million CE to do a move. So that's going to be down to 20, and you can get a little bit more, but that's pretty much it. in terms of what I think, because I'm just going to rank these because why not? In terms of what I think this SP buff is, in terms of it being an SP buff. So like, not how good he is after the SP buff, how good the SP buff is compared to what he needed. I would say like A would be average. I think this is just an S. I really do. If it had the ultimate gauge, like if it had the ultimate gauge removal, then it would be insane. If he cleansed maybe or did the Shoko debuff reduction on the heal, he would be insane. But he kind of just seems like the stat buffs are a lot, right? But the ult gauge isn't on crit, it's on zone, which is, I mean, he could be good, right? If he had the crit on the zone, but it doesn't really matter because they didn't fix his ult. And his ult is where you're going to be getting a lot of your damage, but it's switching him to consistent damage. But he's still combined. Like, you can see he still has a majority of taijutsu. Like, this is like a 5-20% jujutsu skill. But I think they could have done way better. Like, they could have cooked way harder. Like, buffing the counterattack is just a nothing. Like, who even cares about that? This is pretty good. Like, the 60%. But it's a state. And tying this to a critical hit. I mean, like, he already gives himself stat buffs, but this just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think they could have cooked way harder, but it's still good for what it is, which is why it's an S. It could be down in B. No one's on the tier list so far, just him. Okay. So now we have Geto, which is the most controversial of the SP buffs, let's say. So it's going to be for his S3, which is the damage increase one that nobody ever uses because it's just worse in every way than the other one. But now, he's going to be increases his own damage by 100%. He's going to be doing the range damage, but this is the big part, where it's increasing all enemies' damage received, but if it's one enemy, it's 39%. And then if the enemy is blue, or effective for blue, which means the debuff always applies, but it only works if your character attacking is blue, it's going to be 26% for one enemy, for a total of what would be, I guess, 65% times 3. So it's pretty good. It's like consistent 200% debuffing because it's CE neutral, right? They're knocking the scale cost down to 20%. But see, look, this is going to be a recurring theme, right? So he already did this already. He already increased his damage up to 100%. And it's already basically the same multiplier. And they are adding a whole new effect to the skill, right? It's going to doing more damage increase, but he basically already did all this extra stuff. That looks good. I mean, it's going up to 130% now, which is better. Definitely is better. It's definitely a buff. But he kind of already did all this. And then we're going to go into his ult, and his ult increases his own damage by 200%. On paper, looks very good. Deals 1000% range jujutsu damage to all enemies. Increases his jujutsu stat by 40%. Reduces own cursed energy by 40 when ultimate skill is performed. If that just means if you have less than 60, it still goes, or 40, it still goes away. And then, so what you may notice, astute Geto Glazers, in watching this video, is that he already did all of this again. This just removes the CE requirement for this 200% damage that he already did, and you were always above 200% jujutsu damage because, or cursed energy, because you had to be for his other skills. And then it already increased his jujutsu stat by 30%. But permanently, by the way, this is a permanent buff, but it already did that. Like, this 40% is literally a 10% buff. It's a 10% buff. And yes, it reduced the ultimate skill, right? And it could have, this, for what it is, I think is also just an S. It's just an S. Like, it removes all of his SP buffs. It changes him as a character. But ultimately, they could have cooked way harder. Honestly, this is S+. So this is better than Yuta. Like, he's doing the damage increase. That's very good. It's CE neutral. It's consistent debuffing. Very, very good. But his ultimate is the most expensive part of the kit. And they literally barely did anything to it except shake around how the jujutsu works, because they know you're going to be at 0 jujutsu the whole time. Like, people are always like, oh, like, this debuff is this. It's just, they just made this work better with this, because you're going to be spamming this. You're going to be spamming this move, right? And you're going to be at 0 C the whole fight. So his ultimate would have never worked, so they changed it, right? Which is a 400 IQ move, right? They saw what was going to be wrong with him. They changed his ultimate for it to work like that. And it's very good. But all of these buffs are already things he had in the game, and it's just removing the CE requirements for them, and it doesn't debuff on his ult. If his ult had a debuff on it, so you could keep up the damage increase, then we'd be golden, right? And the last one is for Miguel. It's going to be his S1. If you don't know, Miguel got completely changed. So the rotation now is you do the S3, and then you can't do the S3 for another turn, right? You do the S3. It's gonna do. He does basically what Geto did for Jujutsu, but now for Blue Taijutsu. So the power fantasy is you do the S3, then you can't do the S3 for the next turn because you can't do it 2 turns in a row. So then you do the S1, which is what they SP buffed. So now if he's gonna be above 20 cursed energy, he does another Taijutsu damage increase by 40%. So you're gonna be doing this, then you're gonna be doing this, and then you can go back and do this again, right? And then you can go back and do this again. And he starts with, he does 30, he gets 30 C initially, and then his passive gives him 70 for a total of 70. It gives him 40 curse energy as soon as the battle starts. So he's getting 70 C at the beginning of the battle, and you're gonna be able to do this for a long time. Just S1, S3, S1, S3, S1, S3, S1, S3. And then the turns that you're not getting it, right? You're gonna have to ult. So then once you get your ult, you just use it instantly. And it debuffs as well. So he's gonna be a very, very, very consistent Taijutsu debuffer. Basically like what Geto was for Blue, but for Jujutsu. And this completely changes the kit. This, in my opinion, in terms of what is an SP buff, not what makes it the best, but an SP buff, this is the SP buff of SP buffs. He becomes a completely new character. Even if you use him without the SP buff and just the buffs, he doesn't work because you can't do the consistent buffs. You're locked at like 100% because you can only do the S3, nothing, S3, that's 50, 50, 100. The SP buffs make him insane. And then, I didn't even get to his auto skill. It's busy glazing. This masterclass from Sums Up here. And then, when a critical hit is performed, he does 15% to all Jujutsu stat, right, to all allies, which is insane because we don't have a Jujutsu, we don't have a stat buffer, right? It's just Taijutsu, right? Which is why, Sumzap, you should have made the red Yuji that's a DPS to replace the red Yuji. You should have made him blue. You should have made him blue. And you could run him with Miguel, and he would be fun. He'd be fun to use. And you could run him with Blue Toto, who's SP buffed, and he could have been fun to use because Blue Toto is fun to use and nobody ever uses him because he sucks. But he could be good if Yuji buffs him, right? Anyway, rant over. This is an insane passive. You put this on with Follow Me Mr. Nanami, you get almost unlimited damage increase, and you're getting like over 100% stat buffs from just critting. Now the only downside to this is that his S3 is 1 hit, and this move is 2 hit, but it has very, very high critical rate. But this move is just 1 hit, but it does crit sometimes. But this is gonna be the only downside because you could miss this crit. If you miss this crit, you're gonna get punished a lot. But all of this on the critting, like he's increasing his own critical hit rate by 20%, right? But it's a self buff, right? So you can only go up to 40%, remember. But this could take both his skills up to like 80%. Like the crit rate is 40, the crit rate of the other one is 40. So you're taking them both up to 80%. That is so good. It's so good. It's so good. This is what I think all SP buffs should be like. You're taking a garbage, unusable character and you're making him insane. Yes, the buffs help with that, but the SP buffs make him even more insane than he already was. Like Yuta and Geto. Yuta was just kind of like a lot of just buffs. And yes, it kind of enables him to be a DPS, but his ult is still garbage, and the ult is what needed to get changed. And Geto, you're just removing the CE requirements from the stuff that he was already good at. And yes, the CE was holding him back, so you're just kind of enabling him. But Miguel is definitely, in terms of SP buffs, the most insane that they cooked. So yeah, just to wrap everything up, story event, if you have a semi-built box, doesn't matter. For now, when the map event comes out, I think you should switch to the map event, but I'll go over that when the map event comes out. I'll say it again. But no matter what, all your AP should be dumped into this. Remember, possible 350% bonus. If you have above a 150, that's already infinitely better than the average. You should be farming this. You should be skipping 2x weekend for this. This is where you should be for all your AP until the map event comes out. Hands down. And then for the select banner, if you want to pick the select banner, I think it should be the 3 characters I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the 5 characters. The Jujutsu 0 characters, right? I think I had them like this. Like that. like that. And then Shoko and Chozo. Wherever Chozo is. I moved him. He's in a different spot. But just imagine Chozo was here. These 5 characters picked for the banner. And honestly, that's all I had to say for this week. Thank you guys.